The Cowboys OT is brought to you by Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and by blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
A look over downtown Dallas. We're just a little bit west. The Dallas Cowboys take down the New England Patriots in Week 4 of the 2023 season. 38-3, the final from AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys hand Bill Belichick his largest point differential in a loss through his entire NFL head coaching career. Cowboys dominant in all three phases as we welcome you in to Cowboys OT from the Star in Frisco in the Globe Life Studios. He's Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yonis. The Cowboys take advantage early. They jump out in front of the New England Patriots, put pressure on Mac Jones, and don't look back. The Dallas defense with multiple touchdowns. So that means we're starting with Barry Church because the defense helped set the tone again. What did you think about the win?
Oh, yeah, the defense, they definitely got after it once again. They got back to their taking the football ways back to the football field here. We got, I think it was 3 takeaways or 2 or 3 takeaways out there. Deron Bland with 2 of them, 1 to the house. I mean, you saw Dante Fowler out there stripping as well. So, to me, it was an amazing, complete victory by this team. Offensively, Dak Prescott, once again, had complete control over this game and the offensive scheme. I think he was 28 for 34 for 260-some yards out there. He was perfect out there. He took what the defense gave him. He didn't force anything, make any bad decisions, put his offense in the behind the 8 ball, anything like that. He did a great job out there defensively. Like I stated earlier, they were flying around the football. Special teams showed up as well. I think it was a complete team victory for this one.
53 yards rushing. That's all these mighty Cowboys defense gave up this week versus 222 last week, man. Only 5 penalties for 32 yards versus 13 for 107 last week. Was that a hiccup last week? Was that just something that was out of the norm for the Cowboys? They look good today. Dak, like you say, he was on target, man. Was 82%. This guy did it up today, brother.
Yeah, young Dak, number 4, did his thing today. This team was efficient. They've been moving the chains all year long, so that was never really a question. The question was always a red zone. Didn't necessarily take care of that business today, but they were still highly effective. They were over 50% in the third down ratio. But when you have a complimentary game like they did today, offense, defense, and special teams, that's all you need to do. Sometimes just driving the bus is just enough.
And that's really what the Cowboys did. They got up early and let the scheme do the rest. Time of possession, moving the ball down the field, creating opportunities. And yes, there are still some things to work on in the red zone. We talked about it week 1 and 2 in a win as well. You got to fix that at some point, but you got the win. So that's what really matters. Let's see the detailed aspects of how this win unfolded for the Cowboys. Dak Prescott back at home at AT&T Stadium. He welcomes in Ezekiel Elliott, first time as an opponent this season and throughout his career. Both teams notch a field goal to start, but Dallas on their second drive, 10 plays, 75 yards, capping off with this touchdown, Isaiah, to C.D. Lamb.
C.D. Lamb, you saw him working on that release all offseason. Gave him the ooh-wee at the line of scrimmage. Bryant gave him too much space, didn't get his hands on him. Nice ball by Dak, drop it in the bucket. That's 6 points.
Yeah, his first touchdown grab of 2023. Dallas up by 7 early in the second. Second down and 12. Mac Jones sacked by Dante Fowler Jr. He jars the ball loose. Leighton Vander Esch is there, and he does the rest.
Oh, what a play by my former teammate Dante Fowler. You see the speed coming off the edge, chasing down Mac Jones, stripping the ball out. Vander Esch, scoop and score. You love to see it right here. Just the intelligence to go after the football, poke it out, and Vander Esch being opportunistic out there, scooping it up. Touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Then on the PAT, it wasn't a PAT. Brian Anger rolls out on the bootleg, and he finds Chauncey Golston. Cowboys up 18-3 at the end of the second quarter. But that wasn't it, as Deron Bland and company wanted to keep that defensive streak rolling. He cuts underneath the pass, and he takes it to the house, Nate. Another pick six, his second of the year.
We taught you this at Bama. We taught you this in Pop Warner. Don't throw back across your body. More importantly, don't throw back all the way across the field, church.
You cannot do it. And big play Bland wasn't done either. That was just one of his 2 interceptions on the day. This one set up Dallas for a field goal in the third quarter. They led going into the fourth, 31-3. Barry, he's been unbelievable.
He's all over the place. Super opportunistic right here. Reads the eyes of Mac Jones. Goes in there, steps right in front of Juju Smith-Schuster. Pick. for the Cowboys.
And the Cowboys got one more late. They weren't done. Hunter Lipke finds the end zone. A little bit of everybody contributing in this win for Dallas. Lipke's first career touchdown as Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott embrace at the end of this one. 38-3 was the final score from AT&T Stadium. 377 total yards, a balanced attack from the Cowboys and really shutting down New England on the ground. Just 53 yards on the ground. Ezekiel Elliott had 6 carries for 16 yards. Ramondre Stevenson was the leading rusher for New England. He had just 14 totes for 30 yards, just over 2 yards per carry. Much improved from what we saw in Week 3 in the loss to Arizona. And the Cowboys, because of it, are now 3-1. When we come back to Cowboys OT, we go inside the locker room at AT&T Stadium. We'll hear from Leighton Vander, Esch, fresh off his first career touchdown.
This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Cowboys OT here at the Star in Frisco as the Cowboys come out on top of the New England Patriots, 38-3, the final score from AT&T Stadium. Let's go inside the locker room where we hear from Leighton Vander Esch, Cowboys linebacker. Leighton, your first ever NFL touchdown. I mean, what was that moment like? And you said it was a long time coming. I mean, how long has it been since you found pay dirt?
I haven't scored a touchdown since high school, since my quarterback days. But no, it was a surreal moment and really just super thankful and blessed. Ultimately, it's just, I can't thank my teammates enough and just, I mean, Dante's the one that forced the fumble for me to even be in that position. So you got to give it up to him and for him finishing that play. But it was just great all around. It was a great team effort today.
Yeah, let's talk about that defense. I mean, it wasn't always the sacks that really turned into the loss of yardage. It was really the pressure put on Mac Jones, getting him uncomfortable, and then him making mistakes in that second level. I mean, what was the key for the defense, and what did you guys see from that Patriots offensive front that allowed you guys to have success?
You kind of, it's a little bit loud here. You asked about
what allowed you guys
this week, maybe?
Yeah, what allowed you guys to have some success against the offensive front from New England?
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. Really, it was our week of preparation. We know that we put a lot of stuff on film that we did not like whatsoever, and was no representation of us last week. So, just getting back to who we are, and really just getting back to our roots, and just playing the style that we know how to play. Playing together, everybody doing their job. Was
that the message from Dan Quinn throughout the week after the Arizona game and that matchup, and just kind of re-energizing you guys going into Week 4?
Yeah. Yep, just getting back to our style of football and knowing how we play and what we can do. But it came down to just everybody doing their job and everybody running to the ball and finishing.
Now, you weren't the only defender with a touchdown today. DeRon Bland had an interception returned for a touchdown. He tacked on another interception later. I mean, what has he meant to the secondary of this defense, and how much do you guys as a front seven rely on him to continue to make plays like he has?
Yeah, the thing about DB is he's such a dynamic player. You can play him anywhere on the field, anywhere in the secondary, and he's going to go out there and make plays. And so that's just who he is, and that's the epitome of how he prepares and how he treats the game. So, I mean, you got to give it up to him. He's a heck of a football player. I'm glad he's on our team, man. You saw what he did last year as a rookie, and he's just going to keep climbing that mountain.
So is there now going to be a competition between Leighton Vander Esch and DeRon Bland to see which defender can score the majority of the touchdowns this year? Is that the next step in this process?
I mean, shoot, I'll take on that challenge, but I mean, I just want to win. That's all. Ultimately, that's our ultimate goal, is to win all these games, and the rest will take care of itself. So,
well, you're off to a great start, Leighton. Congratulations on the win today. Phenomenal performance, and we'll talk to you again next week. How about that?
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
There he goes, Leighton Vander Esch from the Cowboys locker room. We'll have more Cowboys OT coming up in just a little bit. We'll hear from head coach Mike McCarthy at the podium right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Cowboys improved to 3-1 on the 2023 season. Let's go back out to AT&T Stadium and hear from head coach Mike McCarthy.
Well, I'll just start with complimentary football. I mean, it's a tremendously long year. This is a distinct challenge. I mean, it was a great challenge that was right on time for us, especially after our experience last week. So, it's really a true definition of complimentary football. I mean, the defense, with the takeaways and the point generation. I thought special teams, played well, and we had the one big play there. In offense, I thought we moved the ball very well. So, I mean, time of possession, keeping your defense fresh. Obviously, you always want to score every time you have the ball, but I think this formula makes us a strong football team.
Clarence, 4-Star Telegram. Can you just talk about the fake extra point and then where did that come from and why at that time?
Well, I mean, just got to give John a ton of credit. I mean, it's something I think he brought it to me Tuesday night, and just something he saw on film. So we repped it all week, and we had to check on it. So we got the look, and it was just like anything in this game, the players did a great job preparing, and it was very well executed. So we just felt that it was something we may have a chance to take advantage of.
6-yard field goal you attempted. You want just talk about that. I mean, that would have been an NFL record. I know you want to see what Brandon can do there.
Yeah, definitely. No, I mean, and I've seen him kick it, deep in the high 60s. So I would have loved to give him that opportunity, right before the half.
Mike, Deron Bland has 8 interceptions since he entered the league, scored for the second time already this season. What makes him the unique kind of playmaker, ball hawk you're looking for?
Well, I mean, you could see right away. I mean, just an extremely disciplined young man, when he was given his first opportunity. So, I mean, his ability to play inside and outside, excellent ball skills, which the whole back end is, as a group is, I don't know if I've seen so many guys that can hawk the ball. But, yeah, I mean, it's just great to see your young players, have that success, especially when you know how much they put into it. So, I thought he played phenomenal today.
Anybody else?
Go ahead. The defensive touchdown, just getting. I mean, obviously you look your 3 wins are one at 13, but your defense, it's only on your 3 wins. They've just been so dominant.
Yeah, definitely. We want to get started, on offense, but the defense really, really set the table, with the takeaways and the field position. And that's just, weeks 1 and 2 is, the performance was very similar. So I thought our defense got right back on track this week.
The red zone offense was a point of emphasis this week. If there's one area you didn't execute all that well in today, that was probably it. What are your thoughts on where you go from here on that?
Well, I mean, you just got to keep working. I mean, this is a good place to be when you win, by a significant, margin of victory, and you feel like you have a lot of work to do. So I like where we are.
Nick.
Coach, Nick Eatman, DallasCowboys.com. You talk about the second-year jump a lot. Is Jake Ferguson making that here in these last few weeks, and what is he doing that's kind of standing out to you?
Yeah, definitely. I think Jake has just really been given an opportunity to be a complete tight end. I mean, the run, the protection, and the passing game. So he's always had a knack for yards after the catch. And I just think, you're seeing a guy that's paid the price. He's got his weight up, from year 1 to year 2, and he needs to maintain that and keep it because, I mean, the tight end position, they do a lot of heavy lifting. I mean, they don't, they're asked to, get in there and compete in the C gap and the D gap area. And also we're asking more of those guys in protection, as far as assignments there. And, in the passing game is, he has a really good feel for man zone, understanding, very, very bright football, very, very instinctive football player.
Mike McCarthy, of course, with the 38-3 win, is now 10-1 since the beginning of the 2021 season. following a loss. He talked about complementary football. Getting back to that was a key today, and they certainly did that against the Pats.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it was pure complementary football when you talk about the offensive side of the game. When you look at it, this defense was flying around on all cylinders today. They were able to get after Mac Jones. They were able to force turnovers. So on the offensive side of the football, you don't want to let New England get any momentum. You don't want to let them get back into the game by causing silly turnovers or throwing the ball too much. And Mike McCarthy did a perfect example of how you do complementary football. You run the football and you give your quarterback easy decisions to make out there. And Dak was able to execute at the finest of levels.
I agree. I think all three facets of the game, everybody made contributions. Offensively, you took care of the ball, right? You didn't have any turnovers. And by the way, there's only 5 penalties on this team today versus 13 of last week. That is complimentary ball as well. Defensively, okay, he just talked about how they shut everything down. They didn't allow the New England Patriots to get into their running game. And then on the special teams aspect, you come through with the trick play. Are you kidding me? And then you talk about Jalen Tolbert having his coming out party in terms of as a receiver. The last few weeks he's shown up. But did you see the effort on the punt coverage? Listen up, that is complimentary ball when all three phases of the game, players are out there making the right decisions, giving them contributions, and making sure that positive things happen for this team.
So what did you think about Mike McCarthy as a play caller today as well? Because there were times where he needed to be creative, but there were also times where he needed to be conservative and just take care of the rock. Where did you kind of see the balance, and did you like it more than what you saw last week?
It's different, right? So when you face different teams, you have your advantage. And I think this week they took care of what they needed to based upon what was presented to them. I think they ran the ball effectively. I feel like they passed the ball effectively within the scheme, within what the defense was providing them. You talk about Jake Ferguson and the contributions he's made. He came into this game with the most targets in the NFL in the red zone. Well, he left this game with the most targets in the NFL in the red zone because he received a few more. He was 7 for 7. So these were high precision passes. I think he kept Dak out of a lot of bad situations, and they were able to stay in their comfort zone as he mixed around the personnel with base formations.
Yeah, you talk about a comfort zone. I mean, Dak Prescott looked extremely comfortable back there in the pocket. The offensive line did a great job. I think the continuity between those guys, even with a couple injuries out there, it stood out to me. And they were able to keep that ferocious defensive line from the New England Patriots away from Dak Prescott. And the good thing about this offense is he got everybody involved. I mean, we even got a Lipke touchdown in there. So to me, this offense, they were doing a great job, and it looked way better than what they performed in last week.
And there were certainly places where this offense can continue to grow. And I'm sure the questions will begin to surface again about the red zone efficiency. And that will certainly come up because they're playing a better team next week in San Francisco, and they're going to need to score inside the red zone if they hope to win. But they did get the job done, and they stayed conservative throughout. But let's hear from Dak Prescott when we come back here on Cowboys OT. QB1 gives us a rundown on the 38-3 win over New England. Only 6 incompletions for Dak Prescott in the 38-3 win over New England. Let's hear from QB1 at the podium following the win in Week 4.
Yeah, I mean, pretty efficient. Still not to our standard, though, honestly. Having the red zone, as many opportunities we had in the red zone, having some field goals. I guess on that 1 4th down, we were on the fringe. Didn't convert on that. Still not up to our standard, but obviously it feels good to get a couple of red zone touchdowns. Had the one just barely outside of that to CD. So good to get a receiver a touchdown. A lot of good comes from it, and a lot of great comes from it when you win a game 38-3. So it's a lot easier to get better with a win like this and a score like that.
Is it the quirk of the NFL statistics that CD at the 20-yard with the red zone, it had to be 19 and in? I don't know if a lot of us learned that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not inside 20, it's not red zone, you know. So, but honestly, going into this game, we told him that. Shadi actually told him that for you to score, it's going to have to be outside of the 20. And it's really just credit to their defense, their scheme, and them trying to take away the best players once you get inside the red zone. So he answered.
Dak, Ed Werder, ESPN. You guys, the last 3 years have been 9-1 coming off a loss in your next game. You're 9-1 and average 33 points a game. Those are both the best marks in the NFL. What is it about those situations that brings out, the best of you guys?
Yeah, we want to stay out of those situations. Much rather just be coming off of a win and going to get another win. But just allows us to refocus. A lot of those, I'm sure, in the last 3 seasons, from the top of my head, are humbling losses. Maybe games that we shouldn't have lost. Maybe games that we let get away from us at the end. And yeah, I mean, it's a reset thing. It's everybody coming in with a sharp focus, and it's what you expect when you have the leadership that we have, the coaches that we have with the experience that they've had. For us to lock in, really pay attention to who we are and what's the purpose of our mission. And don't want to say it's easy. It's never easy winning in this league, but when all the guys are locked in, focused on what they have to do, you get games like that.
Hey, Dak. Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Jake Ferguson, last 2 games, 12 catches for 125 receiving yards. Can you talk a little bit about his year 2 jump and just how strong you guys' chemistry are coming on this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise to me as a guy that loves the game of football. Not many people in that locker room love the game more than Ferg does. He shows it each and every day with his preparation, with the way that he approaches practice, with the extra time that he spends in the film working with Coach L-Dub. And, yeah, it's no surprise. It's no surprise, and it's only going to get better. He's a guy that has confidence through the roof. Obviously, he can throw into tight windows. He's going to come down with the catch. He may take a hit. He's going to get up and let the guy know that it wasn't anything. You know what I mean? Very physical player, plays with a lot of energy, and he's really just scratching the surface to a long, successful career for him.
Dak, is Kevin Sherrington, Dallas Morning News, is the struggles, I don't know if I want to call it struggles or not, but in the red zone, is that a product of adjusting to this new Texas Coast offense, or is it just something else that's limiting you all at this point?
Something we've got to get better at. But we won 38-3, so I'm not going to sit here and harp on that. But that definitely gives us something to work on. Obviously, coming into this game, I talked about it about 2 weeks ago, even when we won the game, the last game here right against New York, that we could have been better in the red zone. So it's an area that we're going to continue to focus on. We're going to try to get better at it, and when we do, it's going to be dangerous.
Todd Arch with ESPN. On CD's touchdown, did you know Gonzalez was out, and were you attacking that guy specifically in that situation?
Yeah, well, I mean, we went into the timeout break because Gonzalez got hurt. Coming out of that, we had a great play design. Expected them to get into a shell look or, to play it soft. And, yeah, I was surprised to say the least when they just went man-to-man and allowed CD to be one-on-one and touchdon us.
I think it was, you were in 13 personnel at that time, too. Did you think they were thinking, okay, they're just going to try and run it up there?
Yeah, I'm sure just tendencies. I'm sure that's what they were thinking, but I don't care what they were thinking. It was one-on-one CD. I'm taking that every time.
Saad
With The Athletic. Dak, kind of a two-parter. What's it like for you as a quarterback to watch, that whole sequence where Leighton scores and then quickly after that Duran scores? What's it like for you to watch that? And then also, what's it been like watching Duran kind of grow into the corner that he's become the last 2 years?
Yeah, that's a guy that works his tail off. Practices hard. One of the best players at practice. No matter what he's doing, whatever look he's trying to give, whether we're going against them ones-on-ones, he makes it tough for everybody. And he's a hell of a player, and obviously it's paying off here on Sundays. And had a great rookie year last year, coming to this year, and he hasn't missed a beat. He's only going to continue to get better. And yeah, just to sit back and watch the defense do that. It's awesome. It's awesome. Makes my job a lot easier. Trust me, I'd love to get out there and throw it over and over and be back and forth. But I sit back and I'll cross my legs and wait another 5-6 minutes or so, and for them to allow me to get on offense. But if they want to score, keep doing it.
Going back to last year, Duran's training camp as a rookie, did you see some of this even last year before he even got his opportunity when Jordan got hurt?
Yeah, for sure. I think when you look at DBs, you practice against DBs or play against them, it's the confidence. It's the guys that really take chances, and especially when they're younger and they're taking chances. They're trusting what they see. They're trusting their eyes, trusting what they're coached, and they're jumping routes. And he was doing that early in practice. He was doing that early in his time as a rookie. He got me a couple of times, and there was no hesitation in it. And that's where you say that's a guy that's eyes are in the right spot, believing what he's being coached, and playing off of instincts. So, yeah, I mean, I hate to call somebody a natural because it sounds like they don't put in the work, but he's doing everything the right way, and he's only going to get better.
You think Dak would let me use the blazer for the show next week? You think he'd let me borrow that for a little bit? I think it's worth a shot at least.
Not sure y'all the same size, Kyle.
I don't think we're as far off as you think. Here's what the offensive stats look like for the Dallas Cowboys in their 38-3 win over the Patriots. Over 370 yards of total offense, a balanced attack, 250 in the air, 124 on the ground, nearly 70 plays on offense, and they work the ball down the field, 22 first downs. Isaiah, that's what this scheme calls for, and it also calls for playing from ahead, and that's what the Cowboys did.
Yeah, this team is built to play from ahead, and just from the standpoint of how effective and efficient their offense is. These guys move the ball very effectively, right? You just talked about 69 plays. That's honestly one of the lower numbers of plays that they've actually had throughout the year. I feel like that might be the lowest, but they take care of the ball, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. If you're able to keep the ball, all right, and play this high-level game of keep away that we keep referring to, and you're able to allow your defense to play and make plays and get you the ball, like you just heard Dak talking about, that's a recipe for success. And it's going to be very difficult for teams to play catch-up once the Dallas Cowboys get ahead simply because of what you're presenting on defense.
You have, 10 guys he's thrown the ball to, and he connected with 9 of them. That quarterback is efficient. He's at 82%. He's not throwing for a whole lot of yards, but he's hitting the right receivers. You didn't see him this week double clutching. What he talked about the young guys doing on defense, he did on offense. When he saw an open man, he hit the open man. He opened the game up, against I thought was a tough defense in the Patriots, swinging the ball out to Tony coming out of the backfield and the other guys. And once he got rolling, he just started picking them apart. And, man, nice job.
By the way, 55 plays in Week 1 was the season low for the Cowboys in that 40-0 win over the Giants. Outside of that 40-0 win, was this as easy as it was made for the Cowboys offense all year long?
Man,
kind of tough.
Sounds real bad to say it that way, Kyle. But these guys they took care of business. Again, it's hard to really put this all into one statement. They were very effective up front, though, and I did not expect that of them this week. The New England Patriots. The New England Patriots. A lot of N's around here. All right, the New England Patriots. They're pretty stout up front. So to be as effective as you were, even in the protection with this front, you took care of business here. You did a great job. Martin's presence was felt. We saw that early on. Nate pointed out a couple of things. Tyler Biadasz did a great job. And then when Martin had to go out, TJ Bass came in. So you're seeing a lot of guys get a lot of rotation, a lot of guys get reps, but the ultimate thing is they're trusting everybody who steps into that mode.
Everybody that lines up and plays is doing their job, man. And I try to tell everybody this week, with Tyler Smith, Biadasz, and Zach Martin, the Butcher, leading that group, when your middle of your offense is in place and solid, with a solid foundation, then we can help your tackles on the outside. I think there was a good thing with them not throwing Tyler Smith out to that left tackle and weakening the inside of the offensive line. That gave them opportunity for Dak to be able to step up and maneuver in the pocket. It was just a great job. I think Coach McCarthy's doing a hell of a job keeping these guys going in the right direction.
And it was certainly nice seeing that offensive line rebolstered up front, having Zach Martin, Tyler Biadasz back in the fold, and hopefully you get all 5 guys going in to this big-time matchup with San Francisco coming up this week. But when we come back, we flip back to the defensive side of the football. Our player of the day on that unit, DaRon Bland, 2 picks, including 1 for 6 when we come back on Cowboys OT. Welcome back into Cowboys OT. You can name some of the top NFL corners and defensive backs in the NFL. Jalen Ramsey, you throw Budda Baker in there, Trayvon Diggs, Sauce Gardner. None of them have more interceptions than DaRon Bland since the start of the 2022 season. He has 8 picks, including 2 today. Let's hear from DaRon Bland after the game.
Second game of my life, I'd say. Well, actually, no, I put that at the top, the last one. The picks, I got this one with pick 6, and last year was the 2 picks, and this one with pick 6, so I put this on top.
Walk us through that 54-yard pick 6.
Man, he got an early one across the field, so I couldn't let him do that again. So. And then I seen open field when I got the ball. I was like, nobody's catching me from here.
Yeah. Last year you got your opportunity because Jordan went down. This year Trayvon goes down, you get a second opportunity. Just what have you done to make sure that you're ready for whenever these opportunities come?
I always try to stay on top of my technique, and then this time knowing I had to step up again, I've already done that part before, so
Is there a big adjustment inside to outside?
Not too much.
Knowing how much Trayvon means to this defense,
Yes.
what does it mean to you to be able to step up like you have?
I mean, it got to be another playmaker. You know, we lost one playmaker, so but it could be it could easily be one of our days. Sorry.
8 interceptions for you in 21 NFL games. When you think on your football journey, what is that like?
You know, definitely excited. You know, it's definitely more than I got in college, so I'm happy right now.
Did you expect this to happen this quickly for you?
I mean, I'm expecting myself to make plays. That's what I would say.
It felt like you guys didn't respect your ability to go over the top of you, but it seemed like you guys squatted on a lot of routes today. Was that sort of the thought coming in, is that these guys likely aren't going to run past us?
No, it was just what we seen on film, but it was just, we were just trying to make plays out there.
When Trayvon went down,
Yeah, you know, last game it was not our game, and then the whole week we were just talking about how we're going to prove ourselves again, and then today we try to do that, and they got to do it again next week.
Duran, when Trayvon went down, there was concern amongst Cowboys fans about what is this going to mean for the defense. You've answered that question in a pretty profound way, certainly today. And what's your message to Cowboys fans about your ability to lock down that position and make sure everything still works for this defense?
I mean, all I got to do is say, stay ready. That's all I want to say.
Duran, also for you, I mean, it seems like you have a knack for the end zone. Just, you know, what is it after you catch the ball? What's your mindset?
Oh, I'm trying to score. Ain't nothing else. I'm trying to score. That's my one chance to get the ball, act like a receiver, or I'll try to score.
You guys have a lot of confidence as a defense. To be able to essentially knock a starting quarterback out of the game, starting performance, do you take pride in that?
Oh, definitely. you don't always get that chance to knock off a quarterback like that, but so once you get to be able to have that chance, it's fun. You're excited.
DaRon Bland speaking to the media following a 2-interception performance, his second multi-pick game of his young career. I mean, 8 interceptions in his last 11 games. That's what he's been doing. That's an incredible pace for somebody who was taken in the 5th round of the 2022 draft. Here are the rest of the defensive stats along the way. But Barry Church, Isaiah, stand back. When Trayvon Diggs went down, it was really a baptism by fire from DaRon Bland last week against the Arizona Cardinals. How do you feel like he responded in this one?
Yeah, when Diggs went down, they kind of threw him into the fire when you talk about going from inside corner to outside corner. And it wasn't his best game out there, but I think he responded unbelievably in this game. You talk about coachability. That guy went out there, and I thought they would go more zone coverage. I thought, you know, with him being out there, they're going to put a safety over the top, or Dan Quinn's going to put a little bit more cover 3 in there and let him see the quarterback. To me, without watching the All-22 film, it looked like they played the exact same defense when they had Trayvon Diggs in there. And DaRon Bland showed out in a big way. I mean, you talk about man-to-man coverage. He was in the hip pocket of these wide receivers the entire game. And what I love the most about it, he didn't waste any opportunities. 2 opportunities to catch the ball, get an interception, take the ball, give it back to your offense, or score. And he was able to do that as a defensive back. That's all you can ask for, to make the most of your opportunities. And so far, this young man is doing that.
You know what, DB? I'm sorry. Hey, I'm going to say I'm sorry. I'm mad enough to say that. Last year, we didn't know what you were capable of, okay? You came in when your card was called, okay? J. Lou goes out, you come in. All you do is get pick after pick after pick. This year, Trayvon Diggs goes down. Now you come back into the same fold, but this time instead of inside, you bump outside. Question marks are still up in the air. Last week, you had an okay game. Coach said you had a good game. This time, you come back and make sure that everybody said you did great. Good job today. Continue making plays.
He continues to make plays, and that's something that I think everybody in Cowboys Nation can be thankful for, because you have Stephon Gilmore on one side, you have DaRon Bland on the other side. Even without Trayvon Diggs, you finally saw that they can have success in terms of this Dallas Cowboys secondary. All right, when we come back from one playmaker to another, we hear from Tony Pollard. Pollard had just 47 yards, but that offense was rolling when they needed to in the win over New England. Cowboys didn't necessarily need to use Tony Pollard more than necessary in the win over New England. 38-3 was the final score. Pollard only had 11 carries for 47 yards, but it was all about efficiency on offense. Let's hear from TP after the game.
What's going on?
Tony,
Tony, can you talk about the importance of having a bounce back game in this fashion against a team coached by Bill Belichick after seeing what happened against Arizona?
Yeah, I mean, that was a big win for us, especially against a fundamentally sound team like that. Patriots, they're going to bring it every year, no matter what the situation is. It was a big game for us, bouncing back, fighting through that adversity.
Tony, 4 games in, we've had some blowout wins. You had the disappointment last week. What do you make of where this team's at?
We're taking things one game at a time. We're steady getting better over time, but, we still have a lot of room for improvement.
Zeke returning. Did you get to talk to him?
Yeah, I talked to him after the game. Yep, with trade jerseys.
What was that like, and what did you think of the honor pregame?
He deserved it. Everything about it, everything he's done for the organization, the way he's put his body on the line. But we had to do it to him today.
What's the biggest takeaway for you guys coming out of the game?
Just playing complimentary football like we've been doing. To just keep building off that and just executing better in the red zone.
Speak about the red zone. Finally broke through late there. What do you think about the progress and room still to go?
Yeah, it's slow progress, but slow progress is good progress at the end of the day. We're moving in the right direction. It's early in the year, so I feel like we're right where we need to be.
Was there a point of keeping the offense out there late and trying to make break through more in the red zone late there?
Just trying to get something going. Just trying to execute a little better, see if we can get something done before getting the guys out.
So Tony Pollard getting the jersey from Ezekiel Elliott. A lot of fans may have thought it was going to be Dak, but it was Tony. Really cool exchange there between TP and Ezekiel Elliott. Kyle Yeoman's back with Nate Newton and Isaiah Stanback. Nate, you've blocked for a lot of guys with the explosiveness of Tony Pollard. Can he get back into that rhythm, or do they really need him to be in that rhythm the way that they played today?
Not necessarily. As long as I think he's a guy that need the ball 22 touches per game. And then when let the playoffs dictate how much you use him then. But I like the way they used him today. They gave him 11 touches, runs, and 3 passes. I like that right there. Keep him around about 22 if you can. But if you need to feed him to win the game, go at it.
I'm not really opposed to how they're utilizing TP right now. He came into the game with 74 touches. That led the NFL. So whether he's carrying the ball in the backfield or receiving it on a screen play or a swing play, I don't care. Just get the ball in his hands. But when the game has so much disparity in terms of scoring, then you really don't have to utilize him that much. Don't put the wear and tear on him that's unnecessary. You're doing a great job of rotating different personnel in and taking some of that load, that weight, that load management off of him, and just let him just go ahead and chill on the sidelines while you rack up the points.
There were 8 different Cowboys that received a carry in this game. The second leading rusher was Kevontae Turpin. The third leading rusher was C.D. Lamb. So that just shows how this offense can utilize some ball carriers at different times along the way. When we come back, we go from versatility to versatility. Micah Parsons didn't have a sack, but he certainly played a factor in the Cowboys' 38-3 win over New England. More Cowboys OT right after this. Welcome back into Cowboys OT. Micah Parsons did not have a sack in a game for the first time on the 2023 campaign. He was a little banged up early in the game, did return, but he finished without getting in the backfield quite often. But the pressure was certainly still there from that Dallas front seven. Here's what he had to say after the win.
Just because it's all about the bounce back. Not when things hit you in the face, it's all about adversity, coming back after it. I think that's where true champions is better at, Anybody can come in and win games, but once you face adversity, I think when you look at man in his eyes and say, are we going to get better? How are we going to overcome this? And, adversity makes true champions.
What's it like to see your fellow defensive guys scoring points, touchdowns, 2-point conversions?
Oh, man. I definitely got to get into the end zone. I got to join my man Bland. We always got little prop bets for each other in the locker room, things like that. Obviously, Bland takes the pot this week, so we got to catch up to him, so, it's always fun.
What is it about this defense that creates so many of those kinds of opportunities?
Just the disguised mannerisms, things that these guys put in each week, the way Q helps these guys, Joe Witt, and the way that we rush for these guys. We play for one another, and it just always clicks when we're on.
Ron said, you always talk about hunting quarterbacks. Ron said he does take pride in knocking the starting quarterback out of the game. Is that how you feel?
Oh, for sure. Anytime you get a guy out of his rhythm and feel like he just can't get going, it's always some right things going on. So, New England's a great team. I'm glad we was able to just bounce back and just get this train rolling because we got a tough team next week.
frustration with you get the ball out, got to get the sack.
No, I mean, sacks, we got turnovers, picks. Some guys got sacks, Sam and Tay. That just keeps a competitive edge. And it's just showing teams if you chip, you're doing all these things to prevent us to get going. It's hard to get your offense really going. So.
So Micah Parsons speaking to the media. Barry, when you looked at his game today, it wasn't as dominant, but it was certainly effective.
Yeah, he didn't pop off the tape like he usually does when you watch Micah Parsons. You're expecting that sack, that dance that he's going to do after finishing off a quarterback. But his presence was still felt out there. You know, those double teams, those triple teams that they're coming at Parsons with, it opens up for everybody else. Dante Fowler was able to take advantage of it, coming off the edge and getting a strip sack on Mac Jones. You see everybody else pressuring because they get the one-on-ones. And that's what Micah Parsons brings to the table defensively. He takes all the attention. He allows the rest of his crew out there to get one-on-ones, and they're taking advantage of it.
You know, we said in the pregame show that the coach would try to take away someone in Belichick, and on defense, it was Parsons. He was slowed down due to injury and due to them just scheming him up. But like you said, Church, everybody got in on this sack party. Bland, two interceptions, one to the house. The Wolfman, Leighton Vander, she going crazy after a sack by Fowler. So everybody got in on the party. It's good to see that this young man understands that and can play through that.
Barry, really quickly, do you feel like Micah kind of rolling up on that ankle early played a factor on the fact that he didn't actually finish with a sack?
Yeah, I think that slowed him down a little bit. Any type of those nagging injuries, just want to get out of the game healthy overall. So I feel like that did slow him down just a little bit, and hopefully he can recover from that soon and get ready for the 49ers.
That's the biggest thing, is you got to find a way to get him healthy and ready for this upcoming matchup. When we come back here on Cowboys OT, we'll take a look ahead. San Francisco undefeated. The Cowboys with just the one loss. It's the matchup we've all been waiting for, really, going into Week 5. We'll preview it when we come back.
The Cowboys OT was brought to you by Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
So the Cowboys get the win against the Patriots. They'll look to do so next week against the San Francisco 49ers. You can make your way out to the Miller Lite House at AT&T Stadium October 8th. It's a free watch party presented by 7-Eleven. You can cheer on the Cowboys alongside the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Rowdy make an appearance. There are going to be $5 Miller Lites, barbecue, game day fanfare, and a whole lot more. The gates open at 6 p.m. Kickoff at 7:20. For more info and to claim your free ticket, go online to dallascowboys.com/watch party. The Cowboys 38-3 taking down the New England Patriots. Back here with Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback. Gentlemen, this is the matchup that everybody had circled. Really, over the last 2 seasons, the Cowboys have just not gotten over the hump of the San Francisco 49ers. Here's your really big benchmark to start the season. How do they get the job done this week?
Well, I'll tell you what, they better get ready. That front seven had better get ready, because Christian McCaffrey, he is no joke out there. He is running the football like a madman out there, and they had better get ready to stop that, because if they can't stop Christian McCaffrey out there, it's going to be a long afternoon for this Dallas Cowboys defense. This is the same team the last 2 years that has punched the Cowboys in the mouth. We'll see if they can respond coming up this week.
Shanahan. DQ. Oh, my God. Hey, it's going to be a nice game. It's going to be physical, and it's going to be just, hey, get your popcorn ready.
Get your popcorn ready and take it to the film room, because you're going to need to watch a lot of film and pick up on any kind of clue, any kind of keys that give you the advantage. These guys go out there, they do a lot of different multiple sets. They mix around their personnel. They have a lot of motion offensively. Defensively, they got some dogs that are simply running around. Guess what? They have dogs, you got some dogs, and you got some lions to see who's going to come out there and be the best that day.
I think that offensive line staying healthy would be a huge key, but that defensive line, like you said, that front seven needs to be ready. Christian McCaffrey had a career-high 4 touchdowns in their win today. They are undefeated 4-0. They beat the Arizona Cardinals 35-16 today, so it should be a whole lot of fun. Things get underway in that one, 7:15. It is Sunday Night Football. You can catch all of us on Cowboys pregame live, 6 p.m. Central Time. We will be here at the Star in Frisco. We're going to have live interviews, a whole lot more from the stadium out there in Santa Clara. And that is the matchup that we've all been waiting for. But the Cowboys get it done in Week 4. They're now 3-1 on the season with a 38-3 win over Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. For Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, and our entire Dallas Cowboys crew, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long from Cowboys OT. We'll see you next week as the Cowboys prepare to face the 49ers.